live and direct from anywhere in the world. It's The Kelley Show with Dr. Kelley Mondesiré.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming on to The Kelley Show as my viewership, my listeners. This is the premiere season 1, episode 1 of The Kelley Show. And give you a little bit of background about me. I'm Dr. Kelley Mondesiré. I spent a bit over 20 years in the television business as a producer and executive producer before I went off to school to study traditional Chinese medicine. And I had a private practice on Wall Street for about, 18 years or so. And now I'm retired and I've decided to go back to my television roots and be on this side of the camera. So thank you everyone for joining me. And today I have a very, very special guest. And remember, The Kelley Show is real people with real stories in real time. So I have an amazing, wonderful, gorgeous, bright, and courageous guest on today, Miss Lani Boyer, who is in, I believe, Westchester County, New York. Lani, come on down. Hi, how are you?
How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for coming on. Love the plant. And
Thank you.
there you go. There's that beautiful smile, that wonderful laugh. Lani, I know you. I can't even remember how many years. It's too much math. But can you tell our viewers how we met and a little bit about who you are?
I certainly can. I was thinking about it, and I think we met in the summer of 2012 because I went to you as an acupuncturist for stress management. And the reason I think it was the summer of 2012 is because I was planning a wedding for October 2012, and I had a very stressful job at the time, and that was what was causing my seeking some relief, which you definitely provided. So I married my wonderful husband, Kevin, in October 2012. And so that's how we met, was that you were my doctor.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And you were just adorable. For the listeners and viewers out there, I'm only 5'2.5". And when I stand next to Lani, I look like Godzilla. She's this tiny, gorgeous little person. And one of my favorite things to do to make Lani laugh and cut her stress was I would take my size 9 shoe and put it next to her size. What size shoe are you now?
Size 5. Yeah.
5. And we would just look at our shoes and we would just laugh. And it was just so joyful. It was so joyful until actually I received a phone call from you one day, and I honestly still get chills when I think about it. Lani, would you be willing to share that phone call that you made to me that day?
Yes. So this would have been in early 2016. I had gone for my annual mammogram and sonogram, and I got the shocking news that I had been diagnosed with breast cancer. Kelley, you were one of the first calls that I made after telling my family, and you helped me through this experience. I was diagnosed. I needed to have, as it turns out, 2 operations. I had a left side mastectomy and reconstruction. Those are 2 separate surgeries. I didn't know whether I would need to go through chemotherapy, radiation, take medication, all of those things that people need to do when they're diagnosed with cancer. I was fortunate to be early stage enough that I did not need to do chemotherapy and radiation. Mm-hmm. My form of breast cancer is the hormone-driven type of breast cancer, so it's estrogen and progesterone responsive. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Yes, yes.
And so although I didn't need to do chemotherapy and radiation, I did need to take a medication which is called hormone therapy, and the type of medication that I took is called tamoxifen. So I took that for 6.5 years.
And you know, Lani, it's crazy because so many women who have taken tamoxifen had such horrible side effects while they were on the medication. And you were one of the very, very few patients I had that did not experience any of those side effects. But I just want to go back a bit here, because one of the pieces of advice I had given you when you were first diagnosed was to go on to the Mayo Clinic website, because, and I want to share this with everyone out there, if you have any type of diagnosis of any type of disease or health condition, the Mayo Clinic has a wonderful website where they provide so much information about different health conditions and disease states. And they list questions that you can download, print out. And this is, I believe I had suggested to you when you went to your first oncology appointment with Kevin, that you print out that list of questions, go over them with Kevin, and Kevin would ensure that these questions would be asked, answered, and he would write down the answers that your specialist was giving you at the time of your visit. Because as we all know, everyone out there, when you're diagnosed with something, a condition like cancer, and you go in for that initial appointment, there are so many emotions going on. There's so many feelings. There's so many thoughts spinning around in one's head that very often all of that information becomes one big blur and one big haze. And you walk out of the appointment saying, what just happened? And I don't know, and I don't know, and I don't know. And this is a great, great website, folks, that everyone just go on, even, you know, for your own self, just to explore it. It's really wonderful. Share, pass that information on to everyone. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. So Lani, you thought everything was hunky-dory, right? Living your life, you were doing everything great. And then boom, we got hit by COVID. I know you were home and seeking a different form of employment during that time. But how did you manage during COVID with everything that was going on?
Well, I was doing pretty well until I got laid off from my job at 15.5 years. So I was in the position of needing to, you know, find another job during a global pandemic. And that was super stressful. It seemed as if there were no jobs. I mean, that's what it seemed like, because I think at least in the, you know, the work that I do as you know, project manager, business operations manager, I think a lot of companies didn't know what they were going to be doing because of COVID, and so there weren't a lot of, you know, projects or business operations to be managed. That's my hypothesis anyway.
Yeah, I get it.
So it took a long time for me to find another full-time position. I did keep body and soul together by doing some consulting during that time, which was super helpful. And I also, you know, had the opportunity to explore some new things, you know, things that I didn't really have a chance to spend time on while I was employed full time. So I ended up exploring my love of music during that time period. I was a serious musician when I was younger. I studied music as my bachelor's, but then when I got out into the working world, I didn't really make time for continuing my practice. And so, you know, years went by without any involvement in the music world. But I taught myself how to play the ukulele. And one of the things that you do when you play the ukulele is that you need to sing, because unless you're a super good ukulele player, which nobody is at the very beginning, there's no melody to go along with the chords that you're strumming. So you have to sing. And while I was singing along with my ukulele, I thought, I would like to be able to do this better. I would like to be able to sing better than I'm doing right now. So I contacted my mother-in-law, who is an opera professor, and she gave me a few voice lessons over Zoom during the pandemic. So she lives in Utah. We never would have been able to do this in person. So she gave me some things to do. So I practiced. I did voice exercises all over my apartment while I was making dinner, while I was getting ready, all kinds of, times. And I just did that for, a couple of years. And
let me say to my producer behind the camera here, Gareth, can we put up a shot of Lani with her ukulele? Can we see that?
Yes, it's a lot of fun to.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah. So there I am in a ukulele jam in a park. And which is just, when a bunch of people get together and kind of like strum and, play songs together, all levels welcome. It's super fun. So, so once I got more comfortable with singing, I thought, what I would like to do is I would like to sing more. So I ended up just Googling choirs near me. Now, thinking, of course, I don't know if there are any choirs that are singing right now because of the pandemic. So singing in a choir is actually one of the worst things you can do in a pandemic. So most of the choirs were closed during, the most of the pandemic. So things were just starting to open up in, I guess it was spring 2022. And I found a choir close to me, the Westchester Choral Society, and I auditioned. I had to learn a song to audition, and that was a little scary, but I did it. And so now I'm singing with the choir. I've done, I think, 3 or 4 concerts with them, and it enriched my life. Something that I wasn't doing before the pandemic. I did end up finding a new job in October 2022, and I thought,
yay!
Oh gosh, now I need to figure out how to, can I still do choir while I'm working full time and, commuting to New York City. It's a hybrid role, so I'm in the city a few days a week and working from home 2 days a week. So that helps me to make time for a choir and something that I'm really passionate about, which is just practicing music. It's just good for your soul.
It is. Music soothes the savage beast. Is that it, Kevin?
It does.
It's not Kevin. But
does.
You know what? Let's go back to that slide, Gareth, that shows lovely Lani. And what is this Hello Kitty in a hula skirt and a ukulele? So Lani, tell me about this tattoo. And let me see. I know you've got it on your arm, and I know you've got short sleeves on.
I do.
Today.
It's here. I don't know if you can see very well, but it is there.
Gareth, let's go full screen to Lani. There you go. Lani, let me see that tattoo. Let me see that ink. Yeah. Hold up your arm. There you go. It's Hello Kitty. Now, if you move your arm around, she can dance. Let's see. Do it. Put your arm up and move your. Come on, play with me. Come on, you're on television. All right, and wiggle your arm. Wiggle this kind of your arm, make her dance.
I don't know.
There you go. Okay. Garrett's in my earpiece saying, "Poor girl." Okay, I'll stop. But okay, but Lani, I know you're crazy about Hello Kitty. I know you've got a Hello Kitty toaster. You've got Hello Kitty all over the place because I've done house calls at your home, and I know you're a big fan. And if you had 2 little fuzzy ears and whiskers, you would just be Hello Kitty. But no. All kidding aside, can you tell our viewers why you have that Hello Kitty tattoo on your arm and why it's specifically there in that specific place on your arm?
Absolutely. So I, throughout my cancer journey, I have acquired some scars, and I just felt like I had a lot of scars. Now, the one in my arm is not because of my cancer journey. It was due to a skin biopsy that thankfully turned out to be benign. But I see it every day because it's on my arm. And, you know, I thought I would like to make something positive and cute out of this. I had always wanted a Hello Kitty tattoo, but I wasn't sure, you know, what kind or where. And, you know, was I brave enough to go and do it? And so I decided to get a Hello Kitty who is Hawaiian with a ukulele. My mom is from Hawaii. And that's one reason why I gravitated towards the ukulele, is because it's a Hawaiian instrument. And so, yeah, she's wearing a little grass skirt. She's got a hibiscus and a ukulele, and she's just a little Hawaiian Hello Kitty. And now when I look at my arm, I feel a sense of joy and happiness, and I'm so glad that I did it.
Good on you. But let's go back to the tamoxifen. The story didn't end.
It did not end there. Yeah. So
what happened? Do tell.
Well, so, you know, I mentioned finding a job in October 2022. Well, almost exactly 6 months later, I found that I was diagnosed with a second type of cancer. It was uterine cancer. There is a very, very tiny chance of tamoxifen increasing your probability of getting uterine cancer. Unfortunately, I was the tiny percentage. And so, yeah, I got it because of the tamoxifen. So I had to stop taking that, and I had to have a hysterectomy, which was about 1.5 years ago now. So that was pretty scary, because, I mean, both times were scary, don't get me wrong. But I was super glad that, and I do want to give a big shout out to Memorial Sloan Kettering, where I was treated both times, and that they, you know, they kept an eye on me, and they, you know, they found this uterine cancer also in time for the the surgery that they did to get everything. It hadn't spread beyond what they were able to take away. So that was a huge relief. Didn't have to do chemo or radiation after that. So knock on wood, still in a good place. However, I had to switch to a different kind of anti-estrogen medication.
Was that an aromatase inhibitor?
It is, yeah, and it's called letrozole. I guess there are different kinds of aromatase inhibitors, and this is the one that I guess is generally tolerated the most well, but you can try other ones if it's not working for you. And this one I do get some hot flashes and things with, but, you know, I'm muddling through and, you know, doing okay. So I need to take that for a total of 10 years of anti-breast cancer medication. So that means I need to take it until August 2026. Not that I'm counting, but got 2 years to go. Yep. So
not too
I'm
much longer.
Hoping it'll go by quickly, and then I'll be hopefully all.
God bless. And you mentioned a form of exercise you took up to help you with some of the joint pain you were experiencing with the aromatase inhibitor. Can you talk to us what you have discovered?
Absolutely. So I should also mention that one of the side effects of both of these medications is an increased risk of osteoporosis. And so they have been giving me a bone scan every 2 years, and recently discovered that I had osteopenia, which is the stage before osteoporosis, and then I did have actual osteoporosis in a couple of my vertebrae. Well, one of the things that you can do to help with osteoporosis is to strength train. And so I was looking for ways to do that would be low impact. And I discovered this workout that I really love, which is called Pure Barre. It's a ballet inspired workout, but it sort of uses the ballet bar almost like an extra piece of workout equipment, if that makes sense. It's super good for your core and just your overall body strength and flexibility. So I've been going to Pure Barre for, 3 or maybe 4 times a week, just as often as I can manage to go. So I've added that to my rotation. I also do yoga and at-home workouts. I know a lot of people started doing at-home workouts during COVID, but I've actually done them for years, as you know, Kelley, because I think we talked about it when I started. And so, I've been doing at-home workouts for years. I mean, I don't even know how long, probably more than 15 years. And so I'm continuing to do that, but then adding Pure Barre into the mix to just try to get stronger and, have super good core strength around those vertebrae that need support. And, and overall it's just better for your life in general to be stronger and more flexible and just able to do the daily things in life that you need to do.
Amen to that. Amen to that. So Lani, let me ask you this. And we're starting a tradition. Well, I'm starting a tradition on the Kelley Show that all of my guests, I'm going to ask you this question. All right, let me rephrase this. Name a person, place, thing, or experience that you are grateful or thankful for. What would it be?
Well, I would first of all say I am super grateful to my husband, Kevin, for just,
Gareth, we have a photo. Let's put that photo up, Gareth.
Yeah. So,
let's see.
Got married
Kevin
a bit later in life.
There he is.
Oh, yeah, there we are in our recent trip to Norway. So Kevin has really been such a support for me during all of these health issues and my unemployment period and all of the things that have happened, since I've known you, Kelley. So I'm so grateful for him and having him in my life. And I'm also grateful for early detection of cancer. And I guess, if my story helps anyone to remember to go to their screenings and make sure to do those on the regular, then, I consider that to be a success. Early detection saved my life twice. And I also, 2016 was a really hard year for me with my breast cancer diagnosis and treatment. However, I do try to think of it as the year that my life was saved. If the cancer had not been discovered, I would not be talking to you right now.
That's right.
And I'm super grateful for the folks at Memorial Sloan Kettering who have saved my life twice now.
Amen to that. And Lani, I can't thank you enough for being my very first guest and for having the courage, the absolute, joy that you bring to the world and you're bringing to our audience today, and for sharing your story. And God bless. I want to wish you and Kevin many, many more joyous years together. And thank you again for being on the Kelley Show. And you have to come back in season 2 and give us a little performance, singing and playing.
Oh, I don't know about that.
So thank you, Lani. And my friends, thank you to my viewers out there for joining us today. And if you would like to be a guest on the Kelley Show, I would suggest that we're going to put the contact information down. Contact us, email us, give us your name, your contact information, where in the world you are, what your story is, a little bit about your story. Just keep it brief, little 3-4 sentences, but why you want to share your story. So stay tuned for next week's show, because my guest is a special guest. It's a secret, but you don't want to miss this guest who has an amazing story to share. And until next time, stay tuned. Don't touch that dial. Peace and love.
If you would like to be a guest on The Kelley Show, send us an email with your contact information, where in the world you are, and a brief description of the story you'd like to share today.